Virus and Cells Commercial Project by Ethan, Hannah, Waverly, Elsa, and Sebastian. Units are on sale by the Cell Component Supply Company.
Organelles.
The nucleus is present in eukaryotic cells, and they have a membrane-bound one surrounded by a double-layered membrane called the nuclear envelope. There's also the nucleolus. The nucleus is the cell's control center, and it holds all the DNA and chromosomes, as well as controls cell activities and produces RNA. The nucleus will cost $90.
Ribosomes are small, non-membrane bound, sometimes found free-floating in the cytoplasm or bound to the rough endoplasmic reticulum. The function in protein synthesis assembles amino acids into a polypeptide chain. As you can see, this will cost you $15.
We are selling the rough endoplasmic reticulum for $50, and it is a network of flattened membranes with ribosomes attached. It functions in synthesizing, folding, and modifying proteins, as well as transporting proteins to the Golgi apparatus.
The smooth endoplasmic reticulum is essentially a network of tubular membranes that lack ribosomes. The smooth ER synthesizes lipids, steroids, and hormones, and additionally functions in detoxifying chemicals and drugs, as well as storing calcium ions for signaling. It is marked as $40 for sale.
Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus are the flattened membrane-bound sacs with vesicles on the edges. After being synthesized in the ER, proteins and lipids come here to be modified, sorted, and packaged. They form lysosomes and secretory vesicles. Basically, the post office of the cell.
The mitochondria has a double membrane as well as an inner membrane folded into cristae with a matrix inside, which contains mitochondrial DNA and ribosomes. It produces ATP via cellular respiration, as well as regulates energy metabolism and provides for the rest of the cell. The mitochondria cost $60.
We are selling lysosomes for $35. Lysosomes are membrane-bound vesicle containing hydroxylic enzymes in an acidic interior. Lysosomes digest macromolecules, old organelles, and pathogens. This also recycles cellular components for reuse.
Peroxisomes are quite small and are being sold for only $30. They are membrane-bound vesicles with enzymes such as catalase, and they function in breaking down fatty acids and hydrogen peroxide, detoxifying harmful compounds, and supporting lipid metabolism, with a crystalline core in the middle surrounded by a lipid bilayer.
Vacuoles are membrane-bound sacs that are located in eukaryote cells most of the time, containing fluid, ions, and molecules. They function in storing water, nutrients, and waste, and frequently maintain osmotic balance and turbo pressure inside the plant cell to aid in the plant structure. It's currently labeled as $50 for sale.
For only $70, you can buy chloroplasts. These are double membrane with internal thylakoid stacks and stroma and contain chlorophyll and chloroplast DNA. They conduct photosynthesis, convert sunlight into chemical energy, and all the while producing oxygen as a byproduct. Get your chloroplast today.
The cytoskeleton is a network of microtubules, microfilaments, and intermediate filaments. It provides structural support, maintains cell shape, and enables intracellular transport, as well as organized organelles. This one will go for $40.
We are selling centrosomes for $45. Centrosomes are a two-cylinder shaped structure made in microtubular triplets near the nucleus of the animal cell. This centrosome organizes microtubules and forms a mitotic spindle for chromosome separation during cell division, and above all, it aids in phylogenesis.
The plasma membrane is being sold for $50 and is a very important organelle. It contains a phospholipid bilayer embedded with proteins, cholesterol, and carbohydrates, and it regulates entry and exit of substances, providing communication and signaling while maintaining homeostasis and protection for the cell.
The cell wall is essentially a layer of cellulose that is reinforced through lignin outside the plasma membrane. It provides structural support for the cell, as well as the cell's shape, and protects it against any stress and pathogens, preventing excessive water uptake, and it is currently labeled as $40 for sale.
For only $20, you can get your cilia and flagella today. They're hair-like and whip-like projections with a microtubule core in a 9+2 arrangement. Cilia move substances along the cell surface, while flagella propel the cell, involved in sensory reception and signaling.
Biological representation.
We are selling viruses for $100. Viruses are an acellular particle, not a true cell, not considered alive, but they are composed of genetic material enclosed in a capsid and the outer lipid envelope with surface proteins very small, no cytoplasm, nucleus, or organelles. Viruses also cannot carry out life processes on their own, so what they do is they infect the host cells to replicate their genetic material. Once this happens, they deliver genetic instructions into host cells using the cellular machinery responsible for the diseases.
We are selling Prokarya as a full unit for $170. These are single-celled organisms lacking a nucleus and have circular DNA located in a nucleoid region. They contain a cytoplasm with ribosomes, proteins, and enzymes, and they're surrounded by a plasma membrane and a rigid cell wall, as well as possibly having flagella or pili for movement and adhesion, small and simple, and are often bacteria. These perform all life processes independently, with ribosomes producing proteins for survival, cell walls providing protection, movement helps with attachment to surfaces, and overall, they aid in nutrient cycling, animal health, and ecosystem homeostasis.
Additionally, we are selling eukaryotes for $430 with an additional $100 for plant cells. Eukaryotes are essentially large and much more complex than prokaryotes and viruses. They have a nucleus with linear DNA as well as multiple membrane-bound organelles. The cytoplasm fills the interior of the cell and supports all surrounding organelles. And additionally, often has cilia or flagella surrounded by a plasma membrane or a cell wall in plants and fungi. Eukaryotes are often in animal and plant cells. Compartmentalization allows specialized functions in organelles, with the nucleus controlling gene expression and cell activity, the mitochondria providing energy in the form of ATP, and the ER and Golgi apparatus transporting proteins and lipids. Lysosomes and peroxisomes are just there to digest waste. The plants perform photosynthesis through chloroplasts and eukaryotic cells. Overall, just support multicellular life and allow cells to function properly. So if you want to purchase one, $430 with an additional $100 for plant cells.
Purchase these today at the Cell Component Supply Company, 123 Biology Park Drive, Suite 204 in Genomia, California.